guys, I decided to make this video so I could show you guys how to create a slab box. So the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to want to make a template out of oak tag. So these are some templates that I created for the box I'm going to show you guys in class later. You're going to want to make sure that they line up. So you could do a square, you could do a triangle, whatever shape you want your box to be, that's what you're going to do. The first thing you're going to need besides your template is a slab of clay. You're going to want to go in and you're going to want to smooth the clay so that you get rid of any of the lines from the slab roller that are kind of like that look that is the canvas. So you're going to want to get rid of those, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to smooth both sides to get rid of those canvas lines. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go in with my template and I'm going to use a pin tool just to cut around the edges. So you want to make sure that you're cutting it straight. You want to make sure that your template is straight so that you get nice clean lines and that it's all going to be accurate and fit together. So if you're doing a box, you're probably going to need 6 of these. If you're doing a rectangular form, you're probably going to need 4 rectangles and 2 squares. When you're done cutting them out, you guys are just going to rest them on a board and then you're going to cover them with a sheet of plastic overnight. So you're going to want to let this set up overnight so that they're nice and firm, that we could go ahead and attach them. So I have these that I rolled out earlier. These are some squares, and I'm going to show you guys how we can start to assemble these. So once you have a square like this, you can't just attach it to another piece. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do something called beveling an edge, and that's pretty much just cutting the square on its side. So I'm going to go ahead and take my X-Acto blade tool and I'm going to line it up along the box and I'm just going to cut it on a diagonal. And I want to do this to all of the sides so that all 4 edges are beveled. So this is after they've been set up overnight. So they're kind of firm, they're not quite leather hard, but they're not just going to flop over on you. So they're going to be firm enough that they could stand up on their own. So I have these 3 pieces and I'm just going to show you guys how you can start to connect these. You're going to need some slip and score. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to make some little score marks on 2 of the sides and I'm going to connect these 2 pieces together. So I'm just going to line them up like this. Put a little bit of slip on one side. You could smooth it with your finger, with a tool, whatever you want. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to line this up. So if you guys can see, now that both of these are cut on a diagonal, it's going to line up really straight. And it's going to create a nice edge so that your box connects. So I'm going to let that set up. In the meantime, you're going to want to roll out a small coil. So I'm just going to bunch the clay between my fingers, and you really want a skinny coil, not too big, because you don't want it to take away from the shape of your box. I hope you can't hear those geese in this video. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just take this coil, and I'm going to put it against where my walls meet, and I'm just going to push it in. And I'm just going to smooth it in. So you want to smooth it in on both sides. I'm going to smooth it in this way, and then I'm going to smooth it up this way. So that's going to create a nice bond between your clay. I'm going to go ahead and attach one more side, and then I'm going to show you guys the different types of lids you can make. So once again, I want to slip and score everywhere I'm attaching. So on this one, I'm going to score the bottom and one of the sides, and then the side over here. I'm then going to go in and I'm going to add a little bit more slip. And I'm going to set it up just like that. And I really want to push together these corners. Create a nice edge. So it's going to start to look something like that. You're going to want to go in again and add a coil. And then just smooth it in, going up and down. Now, as you guys progress and finish the rest of your box, you're going to want to make sure you're smoothing everything. This is all I'm going to do for this part because I think you'll kind of get the idea. But afterwards, you're going to want to go where your seams kind of meet up, and you're going to want to smooth over these. That could mean that you're attaching a skinny piece of coil in there to patch up if it doesn't line up perfectly. You could also just go over with some slip. I'm just going to go in with a little thin piece of coil and then just start to smooth it in both directions. So this is the basic technique you guys are going to use to create the box. And just kind of repeat these steps over and over until your whole thing is constructed. What I'm going to show you guys next is the different types of lids you could make. Now, some of you might have different things you're working on, so you might even have more options than these that you're seeing in front of you. And I put these together, I kind of like to view them as more of a ceramic sketch, because on your official box, you're going to want to create feet, and you're going to want to create some sculptural elements to go along with it. So just going in, the first one I have here is where you're actually constructing the whole thing first, and then you're going to be going in with an X-Acto blade and cutting it out. You're going to want to leave in a little piece like this so that your lid won't fall off. If you were to just cut it all the way around, you wouldn't have anything to kind of latch it on. So that's what that little piece is for. You can make it any shape that you want. The second type of box is where you would also construct it fully, and then I cut out from the top. So I cut out the top and I cut it using a beveled edge, which means it's on a diagonal like I showed you previously, and that's going to allow the lid to set in there so it won't fall in. If you were to cut it straight down, it would just fall straight in. And then the last one is where I did not actually attach the top layer to the box. I left it off, I kept the beveled edge so it fit, and I attached a small piece of slab to the bottom of it so that it would be able to rest in there and it's not going to wiggle around too much on me. Alright, so that's all I have to show you guys in this video. I hope it was helpful, and I could play it again tomorrow so that if you're not ready to start, you could go over and hopefully it helps you. If you guys thought that it was helpful, I'm looking to make some pottery videos in the future so that those of you that want to go on the potter's wheel could have some tutorials to help you out with that. So, thank you.